Today I'm sharing how you can style your home with secondhand treasures and even how to give new life to things you may already own, so let's go. If you live in a basic builder-grade home like I do, one of the easiest ways to elevate and add character to your space is with lighting. While this light fixture wasn't the most basic in our home, it is not my style, so I want to swap it out. Mac.bid is an auction site mostly for Amazon returns where you can score some amazing treasures on a super tight budget. I found this stunning McGee & Co. inspired light fixture for only $1. I did have to transfer it from one location to another, which cost $5, so in total this high-end dupe cost me only $6. What a great deal. Changing a light really isn't too difficult. There are tons of YouTube videos out there that can walk you through it in extreme detail, but I'm no electrician and don't even want to attempt trying to talk you through it. But again, this is such a quick upgrade you can make in any area of your home to give a more modern or cottage style, whatever fits your home. And I love how minimal this one looks over that heavy looking farmhouse style light fixture when we moved in. This really opens up the sight lines from the kitchen to the family room. So far, I've replaced the chandelier in my whiskey room with a sleeker style that my tall boys weren't hitting their heads off of. I've replaced that powder room vanity light from that super basic and boring light fixture to this stunning reeded glass, and finally this kitchen table light. Next, I'm on the hunt to replace the other two light fixtures in my kitchen that are not my style to give a whole new feel to this space. When I'm out at the thrift store, I like to look at shapes and materials of items and think what I can do with it. This bright blue faux snakeskin tray, for example, has great bones, but that blue is not part of my color palette, and that is such an easy fix. This tray is from American Atelier, which I hadn't heard of before, but when I googled it, it looks like it's a home decor and dinnerware company with pretty affordable prices. Right next to the tray, I found these bamboo blinds, and I love using materials like this to add texture to my home. However, I thought that $10 price tag for each was a little bit too high, and I didn't have a specific idea in mind at the time of what I had wanted to do with them, and I left them behind. I did, however, bring the tray home, and of course I'm going to change the color from that bright cobalt snakeskin to something a little bit more neutral. I paid $3.99 for it, which I thought was a great deal, so I removed that price sticker and disinfected it. I'd wanted to spray paint the tray black and then go over it with a brown wax so that the grooves would hold that deep black and add depth to the tray, but for some reason every single black spray paint that I had would not work. All of the nozzles were clogged. It was so strange. I tried to unclog a few of them and I had no luck. So I gave up on the black spray paint and then I used this chestnut brown instead. I'm actually super happy with how it turned out, so maybe this was meant to be, but a few weeks later, my husband got the black spray paints all working again. Of course he did. I still wanted to add more depth to the tray and have the grooves be darker so that it didn't look so flat. I got out all of my waxes and I experimented with them until I liked the look. And I loved the dark wax and how it had added that depth that I was looking for, and I covered the entire tray with it. This was such an easy project that took less than 30 minutes to do, minus the dry time of the spray paint, and you can use this on a coffee table for remotes, or on an ottoman to set drinks or decor, or create a vignette on a kitchen counter. The options are endless. I work from home 2 days a week and I'm always putting my feet up while working. I've had this little gray ottoman for years that Mason used for Nerf gun storage in our old home, but I've claimed it for myself now that he no longer uses it. I found this huge roll of faux leather weave type pattern fabric at my thrift store for only $3.99. I couldn't believe my eyes whenever I saw this, and I knew it was going to match my whiskey lounge perfectly. I have this storage ottoman that I use underneath of my work desk as a footrest, and I store my winter blankets in there as well, so I do like having it in the room, but it currently doesn't match the aesthetic at all, and it is super old and filthy. So we're going to recover it using this fabric. This fabric has a similar look and feel to this McGee & Co. Ottoman, only on a slightly smaller scale. Trying to get any type of project started when it requires me working on the floor is such a challenge with 3 dogs. They just think that I want to play, and everything, of course, is for them. But I cut down the fabric to cover the top first, and I left a few inches around each side to cover it. On the corners, I cut slits in the fabric to fold it around nicely. However, on the bigger section of the Ottoman, I cut the corners at an angle, which you'll see here in a minute, and that looked a lot cleaner. To keep this a super simple and no-sew project, I simply hot glued the new fabric on top of the old fabric, at least just for the corners so that they're nice and tight, and then I stapled the fabric down on the bottom and the inside. Well, you guys, I cut the fabric from the wrong side.
How you feel, babe?
Angry. I measured it multiple times.
Measure twice?
I did. I measured more than twice.
Measure 7?
I cut the wrong side.
The width of my fabric roll was 56 inches and I needed at least 58 inches to cover this entire box. And I swear that I checked multiple times to make sure that I was cutting against the correct side for the height of this box, and clearly I cut the wrong one. It is about 1.5 inches too short, so I'm not gonna cut down a whole new piece of fabric. That would be such a waste. And honestly, this was going to be the back anyway, so you're really not going to see it. So we're just gonna problem solve. I cut down another strip of fabric and then I'm just going to put it over top, I guess. That's the best solution I can come up with, and we're just gonna make it work. Here's where I decided to cut a triangle out of the corners to make it look cleaner. I just cut a diagonal from the outside of the fabric to the corner of the Ottoman. Now there is no extra fabric adding bulk around the corners, and it looks so clean and professional. have this little plant corner off of my kitchen where I have all of my sun-loving plants in front of the French doors, but I want my plants to sit at varying heights. So I've been on the lookout for short and tall plant stands to create more dimension and interest to this plant nook. The stands I'm currently using I really don't love, and they don't make this area look intentional. Josh and I went to a vintage market recently and I found a couple of options for a shorter plant stand. I loved the French provincial look of this small table, and it even had a little drawer on it for $32, but Josh really wasn't a fan of this one. Then at that same booth, I spotted this beautiful vintage wood stand that was the perfect height I was looking for, and I loved the aged look of it for $45. I know this was a little bit more pricey, but sometimes you find those pieces that are worth it to you to help create the look of a room or a feeling that you're trying to invoke. I generally don't spend a lot of money often, especially on home decor, but I love certain vintage pieces, and to me, this one was worth it. All of the stands I'm using today have been thrifted or bought secondhand. The wicker stool with the fiddle-leaf fig on it I found several years ago, and I shared it when I created an accent wall in our old house. These other two I found more recently, and the three of them together create a unique vignette that you wouldn't get when buying everything brand new. I also wanted to repot my hanging plant because I still had it in that black hanging planter from the garden center, and we can make it look so much better simply by swapping out the planter and putting it in a macrame hanger. These are easy things that you can do to give your home a little refresh. Even if you don't have a green thumb, you can take this same approach with faux plants. I have been waiting to find the right frame for this art we have in the middle of the whiskey bar. I knew I wanted to find an ornate frame secondhand, and while I didn't find this thrifting, my mom gave it to me when she was moving, so it's still getting a second chance at life. The frame takes up pretty much this entire open section on the bar, and I love the deep, rich wood tones paired with the brass accents. It really does fit this room perfectly. So when you're looking for decor for your home, don't be in a hurry. The right pieces will come along, just keep searching. You aren't going to complete a room or your home in one day or even a week, especially when looking for secondhand treasures for a curated look. Unfortunately, I did have to completely take the back off of this frame to remove that original artwork, which I had held on to for now because I do like it, but I want to put our new art there instead. They used double-sided tape to add the paper backing, so I used my heat gun to release the stickiness of it, and it peeled right off. My art print was slightly bigger than the original opening in the frame, so I had placed it under that original art, and I used my utility knife to just cut it down. I made sure to cut the sections off that weren't going to alter the art in any way. When we bought the art at a convention, it came on a foam core board, which I had held on to because there is a story to each piece that this artist makes, and I didn't want to lose that because it was on the back of the board. But since the print was a copy just printed out on poster paper, I needed to add it back onto the foam core board before placing it in the new frame so it has support. I have been wanting to try that Mod Podge hack where you take regular old art print and turn it into a faux oil painting. This hack has been around for a while, nothing new here, but I really think this art print in particular would look really stunning as an oil painting, and because we don't have a glass frame or anything on the front of the frame that I'm going to be putting in, is just going to be this poster, which is kind of dull and flat in my opinion. I am a little bit nervous though because I've never done this before and I really love this artwork. I know Josh really loves this artwork. I don't want to ruin it, but I think I'm just going to go for it. I'm using a decoupage glue because that's what I had in a matte finish, but Mod Podge or liquid patina or some sort of thick top coat glue would work. You just want to make sure it has a matte finish. But then you just take a paintbrush and you add the glue in crosshatch pattern and try to go with the movement of the art print. This print started out as an oil painting and the artist just turned the originals into prints as well, so this makes so much sense to me to make it really look like an oil painting with this technique. I know our taste in art isn't for everyone, and that's perfectly okay. That's the great thing about DIY and home decor. Everyone has their own style. I am just here to give you ideas for things that you can do for your spaces to make them your own. I had only put one layer of the decoupage glue on, but I think it would have looked even better with a second layer. Now with the art back in the frame, I added in a few pin nails to hold it in place. Picture frames are plentiful in the thrift stores. Typically, you find full walls or shelves piled high with various shapes, sizes, and colors. I'm working on a gallery wall and hunting for oval and circle-shaped frames to add a variety and mix in with that typical square and rectangle frame. This little flower cutout frame was so precious, I had to take it home. I also picked up this silver frame and originally had a different idea for it that didn't end up working out, but I actually liked the artwork and I set that aside to put into a different frame. I have never seen a frame held together the way that this one was, with the metal brackets screwed down on each corner. You can tell that it's vintage. They certainly don't make things the way that they used to, and that's another reason that I love shopping secondhand. Off camera, I spray painted the frame black to give it a more updated look, and then I went through a few iterations of figuring out the right fabric and art to create that wide mat, small picture look that I've been seeing everywhere. But I did want my mat to have fabric and not just that solid white look. For the first iteration of this frame, I painted a piece of foam core board tan because my fabric was white and semi-sheer and I'd wanted it to have a slightly darker look to it. I had used spray adhesive to attach the fabric and it didn't really think this part through at all. I just cut down my image and I slapped it onto that fabric. Well, this looked super cheap, and after a couple of days, that fabric had a ton of wrinkles in it from moisture in the air seeping under it. So I tried to fix that with Mod Podge, and I actually cut out the center for the image as well, but again, something just wasn't looking right and I didn't love it. Third time's a charm though. I cut down a new piece of the foam core board, and this time I precisely measured where I wanted my image to go, and I cut out that center rectangle before moving on to the fabric. I had hot glued that fabric down this time, and I made sure to pull it taut. I also used a much thicker upholstery fabric instead of that Dollar Tree thin cotton fabric, and it looks so much more substantial. But then I cut out an X in the center of the fabric to fold it over to the back, and I hot glued that down, and then I taped my image down behind it. This version looks so much more high-end and exactly what I was going for, and it looks like you could find it in one of those high-end retailers. Make sure to subscribe for more thrifting ideas on how to curate and style your home on a budget, and with that, I'll see you in the next one real soon.